Let's take a look at the different creative sample techniques that you can use when loading and playing samples directly from Push. With the warp mode on, playing a polyphonic sample means that if I play, for example, a chord with the same sample, all 3 tones of the chord will play at the same speed. Now let's hear that when the warp mode is off. In this case, the samples playing at different pitches will all play at different speeds and not in sync with each other. Another cool feature is using the glide function with the warp mode on. I'll set the warp mode to on and go to the global page in Simpler. So I'll change the number of voices to 1 voice or monophonic, which means I can only play 1 note or 1 pad at a time, and switch on the glide mode and set the glide. If I play a pad followed by another pad, this will glide to that particular note. The slicing mode has 3 different modes that you can take advantage of. We're going to have a look at the through mode. By setting playback to through, you can play the slice of a sample from a pad, but the playback will continue to play to the end of the sample. The poly playback mode allows me to play more than 1 slice at a time. In mono, I can play individual slices. When I set the playback to poly, I can play more than 1 slice at once. In one-shot mode, I can play a sample from its start to its end in its entirety simply by pressing a pad. I can change the way a sample is played by switching in the one-shot mode from trigger to gate mode. To do this, I'll enter deeper into the Simpler menu and set the value from trigger to gate. Now when I play a sample will only play as long as the pad is pressed. As soon as I release my finger or fingers from the pad, the sample will stop playing. By adjusting the fade in and fade out parameters, I can adjust the amount of time before the sample is played at its maximum volume and how long it fades out to its minimum volume. You can further shape and sculpt sounds using the envelopes that Simpler has. To access these, simply press the Envelopes button to access pitch, filter, and volume envelopes.